Yo, you ever heard of this sport before? Put your running shoes on, cause you about to know that cross country where it's at, that's what it's called. This could be the toughest sport out of them all. Me and all the boys be running for the fun. Maybe in the early morning, maybe in the sun. Yeah, we running miles, miles and miles. We can do it real fast, maybe take a while.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, my name's Izak Bibile and I'm a 15-year-old middle distance runner from Melbourne, Australia. I do 1500s, 3k and cross country, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my 5 best cross country running tips. So in Australia at the moment it's cross country season, but obviously there's no races on at the moment because of coronavirus, so we're still training and preparing in case we do get cross country races. I'm going to give you guys my 5 best tips that I think will improve your cross country running. This is just old stuff that I've found has worked for me, so it may not work for you, but it's worth a try. So here are my 5 best cross country tips. So tip number 1 is to do hilly runs and not just hill repeats. Hill repeats are only going to give you so much of a benefit. They'll help you to become faster and stronger over hills, except they're not really going to help you when it comes to cross-country races, because you never get a cross-country race that you start at the bottom of a hill and finish at the top. They've got flats and downhills. You're going to be tired coming into the hill, and you've got to learn to recover and get back into a rhythm after you've got to the top of the hill. So, some good sessions that you can do to improve your hill running for cross-country races are interval training with hills in them. So what I mean by this is you could go out and do 1k reps, but don't just do flat 1k reps. So a good modification of a 1k rep session that will help with your hill running ability would be something like 200 meter flat, 300 meter hill, and then 500 meter flat. So this way you're already tired coming into the hill. You've already run fast for 200 meters, which is long enough to get a bit of tiredness and fatigue in your legs. You then have to work hard up the hill to get to the top, and then once you're at the top, you don't just stop, turn around and jog back. You have to keep going and recover quickly so that you can get into a good rhythm and maintain a good pace for the last 500 meters across the flat. So this simulates a cross-country race pretty well. You're never going to just have a straight hill. You're going to be tired coming into it, and your body's going to have to be used to running hills on tired legs after running fast for a certain amount of time already. And then you're going to have to make sure that your body is recovering quickly so you're not losing too much time after you've reached the top of the hill. Hilly tempos and hilly thresholds are also really good ways to train for cross country. Making sure that you're maintaining the same effort across the whole run is really important. Not maintaining the same speed though. Because if you go out and do a tempo at like 330 pace around a hilly course, then if you try to maintain 330 pace up a really steep hill, you're going to be working really hard. And that means you'll be going way faster than your tempo pace. So it's important that you're going at effort on the uphills and not working too hard, because remember, it's training, it's not a race. On these hilly tempos and thresholds, it's also important to make sure that you're running fast or fast-ish down the hill, because you need to practice running downhills, because downhills can be difficult for some people. Downhills are a really important part of cross-country running. It's a part of the race where you can recover, your lungs can just take a breather, you can just get flying on the downhill, and your legs can kind of just kick over without you having to do too much work. So that was tip number 1. Do hilly runs, not just hill repeats. So tip number 2, fartleks. It's really important to do fartlek training all year round, but it can especially benefit your cross-country running. So for those of you who don't know what a fartlek is, it's a run where you're changing pace. So it might be 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy, or 30 seconds hard, 30 seconds easy. Or even doing a pyramid fartlek, where you're going 15 seconds hard, 15 seconds easy, 30 hard, 30 easy, 45 hard, 45 easy, so on. Fartleks are a great simulation of a cross-country race. In cross-country races, you're always surging and changing the pace. When you're going up the hill, you're surging in effort, you're working a bit harder to get to the top. when you're on the downhill, it's like the off section of a fartlek. You're just rolling, you're not really working too hard, but you're still going pretty quick. When you make a turn, you slow down around the turn, and then you have to accelerate coming off the turn. So fartleks are a really good way to practice this because you're changing pace constantly and your legs are having to adapt to that and get used to that. So when cross-country races come and you're changing pace, it's not that much of a difference to the training that you've been doing. Fartleks force your body to recover quickly. You've got to get used to that for cross-country races because you're not always going to have long break periods like a long downhill or a long flat straight where you can just cruise and switch off and focus on recovering. So fartleks are a great way of practicing this for races. Fartleks will help build your overall fitness and your aerobic ability. So they're great workouts to do all year round, but especially for cross-country season. So that was tip number 2, fartlek training. I'm just going to quickly interrupt the video with a quick word about this video's sponsors, Steigen. Steigen are a company that make running apparel. They make socks, shorts, briefs, singlets, crop tops, and lots more. They're best known though for making socks. They make so many different coloured and different designed socks, long, short, and mid-length. Their socks are super breathable, comfortable, and light, and have great compression. They're the perfect running sock. So massive thanks to Steigen for sending me this gear. Love the hat, love the socks. So guys, go check out Steigen's products. They've got some great stuff. So thank you, Steigen. So tip number 3 is to do windy and hilly loops. Most cross-country races are going to have lots of turns, small and long, and steep and not so steep hills and downhills. Trying to find courses and loops that are like race courses is really important. Cross-country courses aren't always going to have super steep hills, so practicing on courses with shorter hills and not as steep inclines is important, as long as you're getting a good amount of hills on every loop or every rep that you do. Being a good turner is incredibly important for cross-country running. You're going to get some pretty sharp turns and some not as sharp ones, but it's good to be a good turner. You can lose lots of time on turns. If you're a good turner, you can try to take advantage of that and get a good gap over the field in a short amount of time. Accelerating off the turns is a great way to get back some of the time you lost. Even if it's just 10-15 meters of just a quick acceleration, it can really help to get back the time that you lost. So make sure that when you approach the turn, you slow down a bit so that you're not going too fast and you can control it. But don't slow down so much that you're going to lose lots of time. You want to have a bit of momentum so that when coming off the turn, you can just burst off it and try and gap the field or stay with the field and not lose too much time. It's also good to just get used to running on courses that aren't completely straight and easy to run on. It's good to have windy courses with a bit of hill work in them because that's what you're going to get ultimately in most cross-country races. So that was tip number 3. Practice on windy and hilly courses that are similar to ones that you would race on. Tip number 4 is to strengthen your legs and your core. Leg and core workouts are very important for any kind of running, but especially for cross-country running. Doing leg workouts will help improve your speed on uphills. They'll make recovering off hills a lot easier as well. Doing things like squats and strengthening your quads will really help running up hills. Having a strong core is very important for runners. It keeps you stable when you're running. Sometimes, I'm sure you'll notice if you go back and watch your races or when you're watching other races of pro runners even, we all do it. When you get tired, sometimes you start to wobble. Some people wobble a bit more than others though. I know that I wobble quite a bit, and I used to wobble heaps when I started to get tired. What I mean by wobble is you might start to lose your form a bit, your arms go all over the place, and your head's kind of going side to side, and your whole body just goes with it. Having a strong core is really important because it keeps your body stable. So being strong in your abs is important so that when you're tired, when you're struggling in the race, you keep a stable and strong form. So then you're still running efficient and making sure you're getting the most out of every stride and every bit of energy that you're using. I've recently started doing a proper core routine consistently, and I have noticed the benefits from it. I've been less wobbly when I'm running, and towards the end of reps when I'm getting tired, I've started to become a bit more conscious of it, and I'm trying to keep stable form. And when you think about it, after a while, if you just kind of get used to doing it, then it'll kind of just become natural and you'll start doing it all the time when you run. So that was tip number 4. Make sure that you're doing leg and core workouts. Tip number 5 is to enjoy cross country. Make sure that you're getting the most out of this season. It's a great time to build a strong base and get really strong aerobically as well as strong in your legs. Make sure that you try and enjoy all the training and the racing that you're doing over cross country season. Sometimes running solo in long, cold, rainy workouts can be really grueling and mentally tiring. You don't want to burn out mentally across the cross-country season, because then when track season comes, or when the important races towards the end of the cross-country season comes, you're not going to be as motivated as you could be. You want to be training with people that you can talk to and enjoy being around, so that it makes training fun. Because sometimes if you're out in the cold doing long runs or workouts in the rain, you can feel really isolated and depressed just running there by yourself. But even when you are by yourself, you've got to try and put a positive spin to things. Try and enjoy it as much as you can so that you stay motivated for when important races come and when track season comes around. You'll run a lot better if you're enjoying it as well. That's to do with anything in life. If you're enjoying it, you're going to do better. So enjoying it and running with friends, running with people is going to make a whole difference. Also, just having people around you will push you to run better. You may think that when you're running solo, you're giving everything that you have, but I can guarantee you, if you had someone else running with you, pushing you, it would make a difference. Cross-country races are great fun. It's just a good vibe before races. When you're at the event, it's just a bunch of distance runners going out and doing what they love. It's such a good vibe when you're just surrounded by people who are doing the same thing as you, they've got the same goals. So you got to try and just enjoy it and be in the moment. And when you're out on the course, take in, everything around you. Use the people on the course that are out there cheering to your advantage so that you can get the most out of yourself and push right till the end. So just try to enjoy the cross-country season. Just make the most of all the training and the races. Even if we don't get any races this season for us Australians because of coronavirus, you've got to make the most of the training and try and get as strong as you can. The training will benefit you for your whole running career. It will stick with you and you can build on that each season. So then when track season comes around, you can do some speed workouts to add on to the fitness that you've got from the cross-country season. So I'll just give a quick run through of what the tips were again. Tip number 1 was to do hilly runs, not just hill repeats. Tip number 2 was to do fartleks. Tip number 3 was to do windy and hilly runs to simulate cross-country courses. Tip number 4 was to do leg and core workouts. And tip number 5, the most important one, was to enjoy cross-country. So I hope you guys can take something away from this video and become a stronger, better runner. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like it, leave a comment and smash the subscribe button. Make sure you check out my other videos if you haven't seen them. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.